Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are doing the what's next on O'Shaquie Foster, the newly crowned WBO Super Featherweight Champion at 130 pounds. Or WBC Super Featherweight Champion. I'm sorry, he won the green belt at 130 pounds. When he scored the upset and defeated the undefeated Ray Vargas, who was a champ at featherweight and was trying to become a 3-division world champ. And, I picked Foster in this fight. I thought stylistically it was a bad matchup for Vargas, and I thought Foster would pull the victory off, and he did just that. He fought his ass off, he fought great, and he outworked the veteran and undefeated champ, counterpunching to death and becoming world champion for his first time. So congrats to him. Now the big question is, what's next for Foster? Well, nobody has really come out and made it clear. Obviously, Foster, for a mandatory fight, fought on the PBC and fought for the title. Now, it really is up in the air depending on his promoter, where he's going to go and who he's going to fight, but also options. So let's run through the top 10 because he's not in mandatory mode because he was the mandatory fighting Vargas. So, what are the other options? Would the WBC, because they granted Vargas an exception to move up and weight and fight, will they force Foster to fight somebody else in his next one? Let's check it out. Number 1, Oscar Valdez. Not seeing it. Valdez likely going to be taking on Emmanuel Navarrete next. Foster, kind of a bad matchup, so I don't see Valdez taking that one. Then you got IBF champion Shavkat Rakhimov. Rakhimov's fighting Joe Cordina next. First half of the year. Rakhimov looks down to fight other champions to try to become a unified champ. Would would Foster be his first option? Maybe. I think if Rakhimov beats Cordina, which I think he will, I think there's a solid shot that we could be seeing unification between Foster and Rakhimov. But we'll see. Again, these two sides got to come together. It depends on the promoters. Then you got Hector Luis Garcia, the reigning WBA champion. If Foster just fought with the PBC and fought Ray Vargas, why not Garcia and Foster, even though Garcia's coming off of a loss to Gervonta Davis where he moved up to 135? Maybe the two sides would come together and throw it in for a showdown to become unified champion, and you could control the division, half of the division that way. But got to wait and see. But I do think it's a possibility. But we have to wait and see what Garcia wants to do following that defeat to Gervonta Davis. Robson Conceição. Here's a name that I think is possible because, he kind of got a raw deal. Even though most people felt he was going to lose to Shakur Stevenson anyways, he kind of got a raw deal when he fought Shakur Stevenson in his last fight, and was Stevenson came in overweight. I'm sorry, and so Conceição kind of got a raw deal in that way, and he's looking for another opportunity. And O'Shaquie Foster's a champ. If he can't land a good, solid opponent, I think Conceição would be down to fight him, but it depends on promoters. Because I don't think O'Shaquie Foster is locked into the PBC as far as I know. So it's going to be interesting to see if, Top Rank could lure him over to fight for, to fight Conceição. But I do think it's a possibility. Joe Cordina, undefeated. He's fighting for the IBF title next, and I think he's going to come up short. I think he'll lose to Rakhimov. But he's still, you never know. If he were to pull off the victory over Rakhimov, would he be, into unifying against Foster? Again, it depends on the promoters if they can pull him in. Lamont Roach Jr., he's in line to fight for the WBA title. He's actually the mandatory for the WBA title. He has not been ordered to fight Hector Luis Garcia next. I like the style matchup. These two are good, solid boxers. Both of them, I'd love to see the fight. Maybe Foster would be into fighting Roach if they don't order, if Foster can't get a good opponent and they don't order Lamont Roach Jr. and Hector Luis Garcia to fight. We'll see. Zelfa Barrett. you know, he's coming off the loss. I think maybe stylistically not the best matchup. But, hey, Zelfa Barrett's also a pretty damn good boxer, too. But would he want to come in after a loss to Rakimov and have a chess match, even if it's for a world title? I don't know. I'm leaning towards the less likely on that one. Roger Gutierrez, former champ. You know, he's with Golden Boy. Just depends on Foster, but not a bad first defense because the guy has, you know, he's a former champ and everything, but not sure if the fight's makeable, just depending on promotions. And then you got Kenichi Ogawa also there. You know, the former champ. Depends on if the promotions can come together. Would Ogawa want to take on a guy like Foster, coming off a loss to Cordina, a knockout loss to Cordina last year? Less likely, in my opinion. Other guys in the top 10, Emmanuel Navarrete, who's a new WBO champ, not likely. He's moving on to fight. He's probably going to fight Oscar Valdez next. And then you got Liam Wilson, who gave Navarrete hell in his last fight. Would those guys want to, you know, would Wilson and him want to lock horns? Just depends on promotions and if the fights can be made. If the fights can be made, this is a wide open division, and there might be some guys that might be willing to take that gamble and go after Foster. But again, it just depends on the promoters. So that's it. That's what I got. That's the what's next on the newly crowned WBC Super Featherweight Champ at 130 pounds, O'Shaquie Foster. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.